Anybody there? What's Texas? What's up? Rocka, hi, honey. Bellows, well, come on in. Caterpillar, how you doing? I just want to come in here for a little bit. I want to show you something that I got today. I thought it was awesome, and I thought it actually deserved a live feed instead of just me, making a little post. This is, I've already got my pin set up in there, so I can put her up on the wall. Uh, Thanks for being so cool. Enjoy Mandy Lee Rain. So that's gonna go up on the wall. Already got my push pin going. We've been trading some stuff back and forth, and she sent me this beautiful little piece. It's a 5 ounce copper piece. Big old megalodon taking down a ship. So I thought that was so awesome. And she also sent me this beautiful little dolphin necklace, which I might want to. I'm thinking about trying to pour that. I think I could do that. Make a nice little silver dolphin. I got that up there. And she gave me a nice little bracelet. This is my other one. This one I got from MLZB and everybody, for being part of the Wounded Warrior Project. So I keep that on my jar. So I thought I'd put this one up there as well. So how's everybody doing tonight? I'm trying to get this thing up on my laptop so I can see everybody. I'm waiting for the live to pop up, but it hasn't popped up yet. So I'm just gonna have to read. I'm just gonna have to go off the feed that you got going on here on my phone. Try to pull it back a little bit. All right, 17 people here, 3 likes, awesome. Hit it, crank it up. But I thought that was so awesome. She showed this when she came on to Metal Mob. It's like, oh damn! I said I would really like to have one of those. And after I had sent her, some of the stuff that I had sent her, because I told her I was gonna treat her well, because she was one of the first, um, female stackers that came onto the show. That I would take care of her, and I did. So she reciprocated and came back and gave me some beautiful things, and I appreciate that. So what's everybody up to tonight? Got Rocka here, Bellow Sports, Happy Tiger is here. Happy Tiger, we gotta blue you up. All right, Happy, you're smurfed up now. Caterpillar, we gotta smurf you up too. It's been a while since I've done a live feed, so y'all gonna have to forgive me for a couple of minutes. Now I know I wasn't on Metal Mob last week. We talked about changing our time zone. We want to get to an earlier time zone to where you know the rest of you can enjoy it. I mean, because on my side, it's midnight when we start it. So we're losing like a lot of the East Coast. So we decided we were going to try to bring it back down. It's like 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Somewhere in that area, so we can just everybody can at least join in for at least a little bit before they go to bed. It's Sunday night. People got to get up and go to work in the morning. And I told everybody, well, I told Liberty and I told Humble, I said it's probably going to take a couple weeks for me because schedules have already been made and this and that. So it's going to take me a little while. Hey Jeff, how you doing, buddy? I appreciate you giving me the mail call and the shout out. Well, telling me that I had mail at the house. I appreciate you. That was a stand up thing for you to do. I appreciate it. Um, but I told him, I said it's going to take me a couple weeks because they already have all the schedules made, and LBS kind of jumped the gun a little bit. I mean, he's anxious. He's excited. He wants to get to a new time, new genre. Of people and stuff like that. So I can't blame him. That's why I told him. I said, when he did the one of his shorts for about 5 o'clock, I was like, dude, I said it's gonna take me a couple weeks. I said, but run with it. I said, you already got it there. I said, just go for it. I said, I probably won't be there. I said, I'll try to stop in if I can, but if I can't, it's just the way it is. That's just the way it's gonna be. But we're gonna figure all this shit out. I'm gonna get my schedule correct. I mean, Liberty's got all the time in the world, but between me and Humble, because Humble's got to take care of his girls, he's got to pick them up, drop them off, this and that, and I got to get everything scheduled at work to where I'm gonna be able to have the time off. So we're gonna figure it out, but we're gonna get a decent time. When I told him, I said it doesn't have to be Sunday. It could be, whatever day you want to do it. I mean, I'm not locked into just Sundays. Man, I'm still not seeing my post up on my tablet. See, this is why Jeff had me set up on another account so I could just pop in there. But I went back to my original account. So I guess I'm just gonna have to go off of. I guess I'm just gonna have to go off my phone for everybody's comments. But yeah, that's a beautiful piece. I love it. I absolutely love it. OC wanted one too. He told Randy Lee. It's like, oh man, I want one of those. That's 5 ounce. That's so cool. And I keep it right next to my megalodon tooth. It's over here. So, but we got nice little note. We got to find a place. I think I have to hit. Oh, I think we're gonna come. Where are we gonna go? Let me bring you up here a little bit. I think I got that one little corner right next to the CS bag. I think that'll be a good spot. Beautiful. There you go. Manually rain. You got your other one way up there. Obviously, this is the wall. I got my We the People up there. Alright, let's get back down to business. want to come in and hang out for a little bit. Just say hi. Not doing nothing crazy. I'm not going to make a whole show out of anything or nothing like that. I just want to make sure that Mandy got her props. Definitely. For being such an awesome person. Let's see if anybody comes. Oh, oh, Crawdaddy's here. What's up, buddy? Got you over here, too. Who's your Crawdaddy? Who's your Crawdaddy? Alright, so who we got? We got Joseph, Lopez, Rocca, Bellows, Happy Tiger, West Texas was here from the very beginning. Crawdaddy's here. Bear. What's up, Bear? Alright, we gotta smurf you up. It's been a while since I've done a live feed, so some of you might not come up as being smurfed, being blue. But I'll catch you when you come up. What's up, buddy? You gotta go feed the fur babies, huh? I can take that in a couple different ways. Yeah, I really didn't have a whole lot to come up here and say. I mean, I just wanted to give Mandy Lee some props. You know, if you all want to hang out and talk, I mean, we can do that. But have I poured anything lately? No, I really haven't. I think the last thing, I think my last attempt of a pour was when I tried to do the shark tooth. No, this one here. And it didn't come out right, so I just poured a bunch of buttons and small stuff like that. But I'm trying to give the landlord a break a little bit because he's paying the electric, so I don't want to crush him every freaking week. So I'm just kind of like sitting back a little bit, biding my time. I've been biding my time with a lot of stuff lately. I mean, my job is driving me nuts. Everything I got going on is driving me nuts. I think it's almost time for a freaking vacation. You know, I need to step back for a little bit and just chill the hell out. Everything's driving me nuts right now. No, I haven't worked on any of my pours, but I got it. I got it sitting right here. Hold on. Even my safe is a total freaking mess right now. I mean, I haven't been doing anything, but we got the Crawdaddy Claw. It won't take much to clean it up. I don't know what to tell you guys. I just ain't had the motivation to do it. Then we got the state of Florida. And then we have the cross. I mean, you can still see I ain't even touched those yet. I got some other stuff here. I still ain't done the key. I did this key, what, 4 or 5 months ago? The sword and the stone, still sitting here. Looking pretty, but still needs to be finished. My peanut. Got my peanut almost all cleaned up. My acorn. Got another little button sitting here. But it's all part of my life, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I do 40 plus a week, on average, just at my work. And I work late. I close almost every freaking night. So it's hard to come home and even have a decent meal. Because everything's crazy. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for a change. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but something's got to stop. Oh God, this fucking place that I'm living in is going to stop too. Can't even sleep because all you hear all night long is freaking everybody's vehicles, their motorcycles, and then first thing in the morning, it's all these big ass trucks. It's like, holy shit. It's driving me nuts, dude. I'm not in a good place right now. I'm not happy. And I don't know what to tell you. Oh, rock, I got like 2 weeks every year. So, I mean, my sister wants me to come up to Ohio, but I told her, I said, it's got to warm up a little bit more. Last week I talked to her and she's like, well, it's 72 today, but, tomorrow it's supposed to be like 19. I was like, no, I don't do cold. I cannot do cold. So I told her, I said, when it warms up, I said, I'll come up there for a week. But I really need a vacation right now. At least I need to take off at least a week and then use my other week to, go up and see my sister, hang out. You want the peanut, Jeff? I tell you what. Let me find your peanut. Let's do a weigh on this thing. Your peanut is 1.72 ounces. I'm looking at it right. Yep, 1.72. Alright. Do 1.72 times what we got for spot price right now, which is what? 73? And you got it, my brother. You're just down the street from me. There's no shipping. I'm not going to charge you over or abundance. I'll give it to you for spot. We used to be good friends back in the day. I know we've all moved on, but I'll do that for you. If you want it, it's yours, brother. Might need a little bit of cleaning up to do yet, but If you're going to get it for spot, you can't argue. Yeah, you should hear the traffic in the middle of the night. These damn assholes with their freaking motorcycles and these jerk offs with their little tiny cars with the that loud ass muffler that they put on them. I mean, I'm right at the intersection. I'm right at Alico Road in Lee. I mean, I can look out my door, out my window, and see racetrack, gas station. So Jeff, just give me a holler tomorrow or text me. Yeah, no problem, Crawdaddy. I got your back. Avocado, what's up, brother? How you doing tonight? I know some of you missed me on Metal Mob Sunday. Raka, you sent me a personal message. Thank you very much for caring about me and wanting to know where I was at and making sure I was okay. I appreciate that so much. No, I haven't done lives in a while. I just when I get into something, I have to feel it. If I don't feel it, I don't. I don't do it. I have a whole plate of shit that I haven't even cleaned yet. I mean, another day I could do it in a heartbeat, but I have to have the love in my heart and I have to feel it. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. That's just the way I am. I mean, if my heart's not into something, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, the shark tooth didn't come out, avocado. Damn, I'm just tearing up. This stuff is so thick, so it's really really hard to get it to stand right with it, and it falls over really really. But yeah, this shark tooth is this has been like the third time that I've tried to pour it. This is a megalodon tooth. This is goes back to like I think they said 6 7 million years. And one time when I was sitting here playing with it like this, I dropped it on the damn floor, and this is a tile floor, so it split in half. Super glue it back together, but it's all good. It's still gonna make a nice pour. But I've been playing with the trying to keep the sprue smaller. Because a lot of times I'll pour something and the sprue will be more weight than what it was I was pouring. So I've been trying to like limit that, or at least limit the channel, the vessel where the silver goes down inside of it, so it's not so hard to cut off, so it's not so big to cut off. And when I did that with the shark tooth this last time, the channel wasn't big enough, and it just I think some of the dirt got loose and it got in there, and it didn't work out. So I'll be doing it again. You can count on that. I've got so many things out there that I got a whole drawer full of stuff that I need to pour. Donna, how you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, I thought that shark bar was awesome. Thank you, Mandy Lee Rain. Nice little gift. Nice little desk piece. I appreciate you, honey. I was talking to her earlier. She's like, "Oh, I just got your mail too." I was like, "All right, cool." Yeah, Jeff, I remember that. I mean, the first time I poured it, it was pretty cool, but there was a one little spot right here on the top that didn't come out right, and Jeff knew how freaking particular I was. He's like, "No, it's fine. It's fine." It's like, "No." I said, "The top, this little top nubby here is not there." So I melted it down and tried again, and it was a total fail. It was a total blowout. There was silver pouring everywhere. The side of the molds blew out. Yeah, I know I'm a perfectionist, but I can't help it. Well, I miss you too, Donna. But I'll be back next Sunday. This Sunday, I'm going to be off at 7 o'clock at night. So if Liberty gets his ass straight and gets the time zones right, at least gives me a half hour, 45 minutes to get home. You know, he kind of jumped the gun last week, but it was okay. I mean, he jumped it. He was excited. He wants to get into a new time zone. We all want to get into a new time zone. We want to be able to, incorporate more of the East Coast because 12 midnight is hard for everybody to do, especially on a Sunday night because you all got to go to work on Monday morning, and that sucks. So we're trying to bring it closer in, to at least being like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. That way everybody can, have a little, at least a little split time to where they can come in. I mean, a few weeks ago, we brought in Littlefoot. We made a special time because I had the night off. But I told the guys it's like it's going to take me a couple of weeks to talk to my bosses and reschedule and let them know that I'm not going to be available past 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. I'll do a day shift, but I need to be out at 7 o'clock. So it's going to take me a few weeks to get that stuff going through because it's got to go through corporate and everything else and everybody else. It's crazy. It's just insane. But it is what it is, and we're just going to try to roll with the punches until we get everything straightened out. Hidden, what's up? All right, we got to blue you. Yeah, I'm doing okay, Hidden. Thank you very much. We just got you smurfed up. How you been, brother? Oh, avocado, I got it. He's smurfed up. He just needs to comment again. Happy Tiger's here. How you doing, sweetie? Hidden, I know how you feel, man. My work is driving me crazy. Nick, what's up, brother? Yeah, I missed you Sunday too, but it just didn't work out. No, I'm sorry about that. I had to work. We're trying to get an earlier time slot for everybody, but it's going to take a few weeks for us to get everything in order, get all the schedules in order, deal with work, deal with bosses, deal with all that other shit. But eventually, we're going to get there, and we're going to be at a nice standard time so everybody can enjoy, the Metal Mob show. Why don't you all do me a favor and share this stuff out? If Mandy Lee Rain's out there, tell her, say, hey, Cartier's talking about you. He's showing your shark. Rawr. But yeah, Jeff, it's got a little line here that needs to be cleaned up yet. I cut the button off of it, but I mean she's pretty cool. She's got a little bit of a line down here. You could use it. You can hit that with your Dremel, clean it up. Just give me a text afterwards, and we'll figure out the price. I told you I'll just give it to you for spot. Rakamas, you want me to make a short of what? What would you like me to make a short of, honey? Because I got tons of them out there. Oh, any of your stuff? All right, I can do that. Honey, if you go back and look at my shorts, I got plenty of stuff in there. That's usually when you see my pores, because most of my pores are usually done on shorts. But we got another. Where is it? If I can find it. I'm not sure if I got it in my desk or if I have it in my safe. But we got a 500. We got a 500 GAW coming up. All right. Avocado says Cartier. My poker chips are coming in this week. Whoever might want a YouTuber's poker chip, you can just reach out to. All right. So Avocado's got chips coming in. I'm supposed to have chips coming in too. I'm waiting on Liberty. I sent him a nice. I sent him a few little buttons. Yeah, I finally hit over five. I wanted to wait because you know how it is. It jumps back and forth, back and forth. So you never know when it's really gonna stick. But it's finally stuck. And let me show you this. Let me grab it. This is 1461. This is a Charlie Kirk commemorative piece. Let me see if I can pull it out of here. These things are in there tight. Oh, and I gotta show you that too. I just used this to pop it out. I found my first war nickel in the coin star. It's a Philly, 1943. I just used that to pop out the Charlie Kirk piece. But Charlie Kirk, high relief. This will be the big giveaway of my 500 GAW. And I'll have plenty of other, smaller stuff. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but that's 1461. So that will be, you know, my big giveaway on my GAW for, hitting over 500. Littlefoot, what the fuck are you doing here? Holy shit, ain't past your bedtime yet? Oh no, it's only 8:46. We're still good. I'm so glad you came in, my brother. But no, that's going to be, part of my 500 GAW giveaway. That's going to happen, within the next few weeks. I keep saying it's going to happen in the next few weeks, but it really comes down to my goddamn schedule. That's what it all comes up to. I mean, because, I need to be able to advertise and tell everybody, this and that and this time. And, I want everybody to be able to get involved in it. I don't want to just jump up and say, oh, here's my 500 GAW. I want to be able to give at least people, a week or so to be able to be involved with it and get with it and join in and come along and have some fun. I got some other stuff that I will obviously be giving away as well. Chelsea the Adventurer. Oh, Star Trek. All right, let's make you blue. You look like you're decent. Oh, Crawdaddy, that's what I thought eventually. That's what I thought too. But I don't push it. I really don't. I mean, I'm not out there pushing shorts. I'm not, even with the Metal Mob, I told Liberty and Humble both, because they want to be monetized and all that shit. I don't care. I really do not care. I'm not here to be a YouTube star or anything like that. Humble just got monetized. No, good for you. I can make more money off of selling something like this to somebody I know than YouTube is ever going to pay me. So I just want to come up here, hang out, and be with you good people, and that's just the way I work. I don't care if I'm a big YouTube star. I don't care if I get monetized. But it's nice to reach that 500 level. It's kind of like well, it is, a place you want to hit. I mean, and then there's 1,000 or and this and that, but you know, the 500 is where you really want to hit. Once you hit 500, you're pretty cool. At least people will look at your channel and say, "Well, you got 500 subscribers. You're obviously doing something right. So maybe I'll check you out." So that's good enough for me. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. Oh, Mindy Lee just come in? Oh, honey, why ain't you blue? Oh, that's because I haven't freaking, I haven't done a live feed in a long time. There you go, Mandy. You're blue. I was showing off your stuff. What else we had? We had the dolphin necklace. I think I can actually pour that and make it out of silver. So I got that hanging up on my wall. And the bracelet I took and I put in my jar. You believe all this is from Coinstar. All this is from coins around the world that I got from Coinstar within the past year. This bracelet here, comes from MLZB when I was doing the Wounded Warrior project. He sent me that as a thank you, and now I got Mindy Lee Rain's bracelet right up on there on the top. Thank you, sweetheart. And I got you up here. I don't know if you saw it earlier, but I took your little note that you brought in the envelope, and I got you up there. Oh, Mandy, you're more than welcome. I'm just glad you all came in to say hi. I appreciate that. No, I was just starting a little. I didn't plan on doing a major live feed or anything like that. I just wanted to come here and showcase, what Mandy did for me, what Mandy sent. Been a long day. I actually called out of work today. Nice little button. Hasn't been stamped or anything yet. If anybody's interested in it, let me know. See what we got for a weight on this baby. 0.92. It's already been through the tumbler. This has been cleaned up, been through the tumbler. Just needs a good stamping. Yeah, Littlefoot, I know. I never call out of work. I really don't. But I got myself in a little bit of trouble yesterday. So I'm kind of getting a little get back. I accidentally dropped an F bomb in front of a customer while I was yelling at one of the employees who weren't doing their freaking job. And they went up to the desk and complained. So they wrote me up. And tonight's case night, so I was like, oh, screw that. I'm just gonna stay home. My stomach was hurting. Ate a bunch of clams last night. Had a bunch of butter in it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. but that's just my life. So we get this baby coming up. A couple weeks. I know I keep saying a couple weeks, but it's coming. It's a beautiful piece. I actually have four of these with the high relief with the proof sets, and then I have two others. Charlie Kirk. But that'll be going to somebody on my 500 GAW. They're not even selling them anymore. I mean, I went back to Money Metals and I looked on SD Bullion. You know, nobody has them anymore. So they probably pulled it. So this was not this was not a cheap coin. This was not a cheap coin. So it's probably even worth even more now. Yeah, Littlefoot, I'm not worried about it. You want me to show it again? Okay. Let me pop it out of there with my war nickel. That I just got. That's the Charlie Kirk. I got four of these. And I have two more that are just, regular coins. They're not high relief like, proofs like this. So that's going to be a nice little giveaway for the 500 GAW. Yeah, well, spot price right now has been crazy. Where the hell are we at right now? I know we just hit back up in the 70s right before it came on. It was like 71, 72. But, I mean, we're still way higher than when we started. But that 115 was sweet. The 80s was sweet. But with all this shit going on, with Iran, it's going to be what it's going to be for a little while. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it until that oil starts flowing through the Strait of Hamas. And once that gets going again, everything will come back to normal. Prices will start changing again. It's a buyer's market right now, Jeff. Most definitely. Back that truck up. Beep, beep, beep. Let's go. All right, I'm going to take a bathroom break. I'll be right back. Chat amongst yourselves. Hooty hoo! And that's what's nice about the Metal Mob show because I can disappear for a minute and nobody actually even knows where the hell I went. Like, no, Donnie's peeing. We're making another drink. One or the other. Yeah, I don't sell much either, Crawdaddy. I mean, once in a great. I mean, I'll sell my pores, but I mean, I don't go out and sell, my regular silver or something like that, because I need it. If I'm not pouring it, then it's my deep stack, and that stuff never gets poured. The funny thing is, people bust on me about melting down buffaloes or something like that. Something that's cheap, easy. Has a low, obviously a very low premium. It's like, oh, why don't you just use shot? Shot costs you more than a buffalo does. If you look it up, shot will cost you more than what a regular plain old buffalo does. So I buy my buffaloes, and I use those for my pouring. I love my shot. I got I got tubes of them just sitting here, and I got my own stuff. I just sent Mandy Lee Rain, some of my shop just from my own personal stuff that I poured, and I've had some leftovers, and I just dump it in the water. And sometimes you come up with big pieces, and I'll take those and I'll melt them down. But when I get those little tiny BBs, I always save them. I save them and I put them in a little one of my tubes. Oh, Mandy, I'm glad you do. No, that was an appreciation of you being the very first lady stacker on the Metal Mob. I had to give you a special gift. There's actually no benefit to shot. It looks pretty. It shakes nice. But if you ever go to sell it, nobody ever wants to buy it because they're going to have to test every single little tiny piece to make sure that it's real. Because somebody could throw in like 925 or this or that. If you're dealing with a whole thing of shot, Nobody's going to want to buy it. Yeah, it's a nice desk piece. You know, I love the way that Mandy did it with those little bottles with the cork. That was awesome. You know, when she came on the show, she showed a little She had a little bottle with a cork on it, and there was only a little bit of shot in the bottom of it. I was like, "Oh no, honey, I gotta fill that up." You know, you're our first stacker, or our first lady stacker. I said I gotta fill that up, and she showed me a picture tonight, and she's got two little bottles now, all filled up, and some extra shot left over that she couldn't fit in there. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I sent you those extra coins too, so that was cool. I don't know if whiskey's the best shot or not. John, what's up? How you doing, brother? Lisa, how you doing, sweetheart? Glad to see you come on rolling in here. I'm working off just my phone tonight. I don't have my tablet set up. I was trying to get it to pull up my feed, but it doesn't look like it's doing it. All right, so we got Crawdaddy, we have Bear, we have Lisa Anderson, we have Mandy, we have Raka, we have Jeff, we have John, Renee, and me. Crawdaddy's there. Bear, Littlefoot was here for a little while. I think he might have disappeared. I don't know. All right, thank you all for coming in. I know it's a small group. That doesn't bother me at all. Like I said, I just came up here to do a quick little thing on what I got from Mindy Lee Rain. I love this piece. I absolutely love this piece. It's a nice little 5 ounce cup piece. That is going to be one of my desk showpieces. Always. I thank you so much, Mandy. I'm not looking for numbers, Raka. It doesn't matter to me, one way or another. No, this is why I let LBS and Humble, do the hosting, so they can get their time. I don't care about the time. I don't want to host because it's a pain in the ass for me on the phone to begin with because I don't know how to do it properly. So if I hit a button wrong, I shut the whole goddamn thing down. And then I got to call one of them up and say, hey, you need to take over. I pushed a button. I don't know how to get back to where I was. It's like, just let them have it. Let them have it. Let them split the hours between the two of them. It's still a three-person show, but, let them have it. I don't care. I'm not looking to get monetized. It's not a big deal to me. It's, I want the subs. I love the fact that I finally hit over 500. I appreciate every single one of you out there who helped me do that, and we're going to be doing that very soon with a 1461. Yeah, if Jeff wants the peanut, I will sell Jeff the peanut. But I can always make another. It's kind of like my job. I can make multiples of whatever out there. I got a nice little button here. I got some stuff over there in the safe that's finished. But yeah, Jeff always wants the first of everything. I mean, when we were living together, when I first started pouring, he was actually, I got to give Jeff credit. He was actually the one who told me. He says you need to start making videos of this shit. You need to put it on YouTube. So I'm gonna give Jeff credit. You know, definitely. I mean, I had no plans on trying to be a YouTube star and I'm obviously not a star, but I mean, I had no plans on that, and to be monetized and all this other stuff. And Jeff was like, no, he says you got to put it up there. It's like, well, I'll put it up there so I can sell it. And then I got into the community, and shit's just gone crazy since. And now I'm in the show with the Metal Mob and everything else, and it's like, it's been a great ride. You know, I love it. Tim, what's up? Welcome on in, hon. Welcome on in, brother. Aw, Bear. Thank you. I appreciate that. But a lot of this stuff I basically do for myself. I mean, like this shark tooth. I mean, this is like a 8 9 ounce piece. Nobody's gonna buy this, but I want to do it just for myself. I've got a lot of big pieces that I've poured that nobody's gonna pay the money for, and that's fine. That's why I came up with little buttons. This one's not this one's not stamped yet, but it always has the weight and stuff on the back, and always has my CS on the front. But I do smaller stuff like that. But I'm just up here trying to have some fun. I mean, that's my whole point. When this doesn't be, when this doesn't become fun for me anymore, I just won't do it. I mean, I'm making friends in the meantime. I've got a lot of people's numbers. I'll always stay in contact with you. But if I get to the point where, this isn't for me anymore, I just won't do it. I'm not gonna go out there and kill myself and drive myself nuts because I want to be a YouTube star. It's not me. That's just not the way I am. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, smash that like button. We got a small crowd tonight, but that's cool. I like that. And that's because you know why? because I know you're my real friends. You're the ones who come up and, oh, Donnie's on. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go hang out, check out, see what's going on. Well, Crawdaddy, whenever you want to, if whenever you want to get into pouring, you let me know. I will be happy to give you every tip that I can. All my little tiny cheaty things or stuff that I do. I'll be happy to tell you, all my little secrets. They're not secrets. I mean, I picked these up from, many people, you know, that I've watched through the years on how they pour, how they make their casts, how they do all this other stuff. I've picked up and I've learned from many, many people in here. Capital Currency was one of my biggest sources of information when he was pouring. I would watch him, I would talk to him, we would talk, on text, and I would ask him this, and he would be the same way. He'd be like, "Oh, well, you have to do this, you have to do that." It's like, all right, cool. But yeah, I'll help. I'll help anybody. If you want to get into pouring or something like that, we can talk about sand. We can talk about machines. We can talk about temperatures, whatever you need. I'm willing to help anybody out there who's willing to get this stuff going because you know we are a dying art. More people are getting into just I want to buy it. I just want to buy some silver. I want to buy some silver, and that's getting low too. So the silver artists who actually pour and actually make whatever you want. I mean, Minix sent me Popeye and Bluto, and I don't know how I pulled it off, but I did. I even managed to get Popeye a pipe in his mouth. But I mean, it's fun. I love a challenge. I love a challenge. Yeah, I love it when you all challenge me. Nick with the bear head, and all these other people. Who come up with ideas of, oh, I'll send you this. Can you pour it? It's like, well, as long as I got a negative draft on it, and most of you don't understand that, but I mean, you have to be able to pull it out of the sand without taking the sand with it. You can't lock it in. Well, Crawdaddy, you're gonna have to get a stamp. Yeah, Jeff, you got the frying pan. Who else has a frying pan? Um, OC Stacker has a frying pan. Tiffany has a frying pan. My old little sweetheart. But yeah, the frying pan and shit was cool. I mean, I got a whole bag in here. Jeff, you know my desk. I still got a whole bag in here full of all those little trinkets and toys. Oh, this would be cool to pour. That would be cool to pour. Here it is. Oh, there's Pooh Bear. Jeff, you remember all that? Bowling pins, soccer ball. I still got all that stuff at my desk. And one of these days when I get the time, I definitely want to go through everything, and I need to do some repours. No, I haven't done one of my Eye of Horses for a long time. I haven't done any of my scarabs for a long time. There's only three scarabs in existence. I have one, Janine has one, and Tiffany has one. Those are the only three, scarabs in existence. And when I'm talking about the scarab, that's this little baby right here. This is my daily wear. I used to wear the original, but considering it was from like 300 BC, and I was afraid I was going to lose it, I decided to stop wearing it and just pour one. Yeah, that's from Egypt. That's from like 300 BC, 300 to 350. It was a funerary scarab. It's one of the things that they used to actually they would take like a half a dozen to a dozen scarabs, and they would tie them into the wrappings around the mummy on their chest. The scarab was supposed to actually help their soul, reach their next destination. Yeah, Mandy, I got all kinds of Egyptian stuff. We need to talk. Yeah, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I can show you all kinds of pictures of the stuff that I have. I have a lot of Roman and Greek coins as well. This here is actually a Roman vessel. This is over 1900 years old, and this contains my mommy's and my daddy's ashes that I got from my sister. I sealed it up with wax. But this thing is really old. I mean, that's an actual. They call it a vessel because it's not really a vase. But, I mean, this is cool as hell. On the inside, there was, some kind of silver or something that was on the inside. But, I mean, it being so old, it kind of like just flaked off and disappeared. But what happens when you don't? You ain't smoking nothing out of this thing. Come on, little foot. That's my mommy and daddy in there. But I keep that over there on my desk. You're always sitting there watching me. It was a funny story too, because my sister had sent me a box of stuff, from my mom and my dad. And, a lot of it were like older Bibles and stuff like that my mom had, and some pictures and stuff like that. And there was these two little freaking white baggies in there. I was like, white baggie? I said, what the fuck did she just send me? So, I cracked one of them open. I licked my finger and I stick it in there, and I was like, no. I said, I'm not sure what this is. Yeah, white baggie. You stick your finger in there, you test it out. I was like, I almost tasted my dad. I called my sister up. I said, "What the hell are these little white baggies up?" She says, "That's mom and dad's ashes." I'm like, "Oh my god, I almost tasted dad." And she laughed her ass off. I was like, "Well, you send me a white baggie with powder. I'm gonna test it." But luckily, I didn't taste my parents, so I put them in that Roman vessel instead. And a lot of that stuff I bought from Aaron Burke. I've got I got that vessel, the Roman vessel. I've got Roman coins. I've got Greek coins. I have a knuckle bone that they used to play dice with. When you used to cast lots, when the Romans used to cast lots, it was like playing dice. So I got a copy. Well, it's not really a copy. I missed out on the original bone because they would actually pour some out of brass because when they use the bone ones, the actual bone ones, they would break and stuff like that. So I missed out. It was like 450. I think it was like $450 for an actual bone one, and I missed out. And I picked up a brass one that they had made a copy of for like a couple $100. But I've made a copy of that. I've sent that out. Somebody's got that. I forget who, but I poured that. I have a Coptic eye pin, that they used to put their makeup on with, the black around the eyes. How the Egyptians used to do that. It's a bone pin that they used to do that with. I got all kinds of wild shit like that. I love Egypt. I always have. West Texas is in the house? Hey, West Texas. What's going on? Glad to see you come by. I'm sorry I missed you last week, but I had to work. LBS kind of jumped the gun a little bit on me, but it's okay. I told him to just roll with it. He already made the advertisement, so. But I'm sorry I missed you guys. No, Jeff, I'm still on Zelle. I don't do PayPal. You're just down the street from me, so I mean, I can just drop it off, and we can just change over that way if you want. Oh, Littlefoot, I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you, asking about me. You made a horrible joke on Sunday. You're talking about? Oh, you got to tell me. You can tell me. You can just send me a text. Tell me what your joke was. You don't have to bring it up here now if you don't want to. But no, as far as all my old ancient Egypt stuff and stuff like that, I love it. I love the old Roman coins. I love the old Greek coins. I've got coins that date back to 500 BC. That's 500 years before Christ was even born. That's an amazing piece of history to just even be able to hold in your hand, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care how, cheap it might have been or whatever. I mean, some of these coins I have, some were like $40, some were like two or $300, but it doesn't matter. It's history. That's history that you have in your hand, and that's the way I look at our coins today. I just like even this little tiny baby. First war coin that I ever found in a coin star. 1943 Philly. And it's in good goddamn shape. Look at that. That's in good shape. Doesn't have the steps on it or nothing, but and it's not worth much, but it's a war coin. That's the only coins that were made out of 35% silver. And he only did it for what, 1942 to 45. And of course, the 43 that I have is the highest mintage of any coin. That's probably why I found it in Coinstar. But I've gotten pretty lucky on Coinstar this year. I found four $half, 64 or below. So that was pretty cool. I found a quarter. I found this quarter, which is actually a fake. It's a. Let me look at it regularly because it's not going to show you. It's like a 1964. But when you look at the back of it, look at how messed up that is. And I know what it looks like when you re-pour a coin. Somebody poured this, and it's not. It doesn't go to weight. It doesn't go to anything. It doesn't even have the sound. But that's my first fake that I ever found. Because here, I haven't brought this up for a long time. But this is my lamp that I've been working on here and there. I made it. This was all Jeff. He knows all about this. This was a big bird that was on top of this, and I melted it all down, and I made a big old brass bar, kilo bar, and then I took some of the brass and I did some of the Roman coins that I have and stuck them on here. So I know what a re-poured coin looks like because I've done it. I poured it. Eventually, I want to do. I'm not gonna put a silver bar up here, but probably like an aluminum bar and a nice big copper bar and stand them up. But this is one of my projects that I haven't got through. I haven't been through for a long time. I've got it all gutted. There's no wires in it or nothing like that. I've taken that all apart. I got that in a box. I need to rewire the whole thing But I think it'd be a nice desk piece. I thought it'd be pretty cool. I cleaned all this up. I highlighted some of the brass. You know, I took off some of the the painty stuff that they put on it. So I highlighted some of that. But this is my lamp. I've been working on this for years. But these are old Roman coins. And I got the originals. Y'all want to see the originals? I can break it out if you want. I can show you all the old Egyptian shit. Just let me know if you're interested. All right, give me some feedback here. Do you want to see? Do you want to see some of those old coins and stuff, or not? Ras Bobo, what's going on? Oh, that's my lamp that I've been working on for a long time. All right, I'll pull it out. And here's a funny thing. Jeffrey, Jeff, are you still there? This was a commentary Bible. You know, there's millions of them out there. You know, this is not like a real Bible, but this was my first safe. I spent a lot of time taking this book and turning it into a safe. This was the first safe that I ever had. This is the actual scarab that I wear on my neck. It opens up. That's 525 to 332 BC. This is the actual scarab. This one I will cast because, you know, it's like a hard rock. You know, this is what my necklace is made of. So I'm not scared of, like, you know, redoing it. Oh, that was my dad's ring. That's where this came from. My dad had a black onyx ring that had to, it was broken It's still broken. It needs to be put back together, but they want too much money. So maybe one day down the road, when I start, playing with gold and getting the actual the jeweler's torches, But this is what I used. I put it together with tape, and that's where my CS comes from. That was my dad's black onyx ring. This is the Eye of Horus. Only one time have I ever. No, I'm not afraid of ancient curses. Rasbobo, actually, I put that scarab on a piece of string and I slept with it for a couple days just to find out if there was going to be like weird dreams or, something would happen. But nothing has ever happened. This is the original Eye of Horus. This one here, I've only poured it one time. There's a hole that goes right through it. I think you can see that. But it feels so porous. I only cast it one time. So I keep the original cast that I made and I use that to make these now. But this goes back to late period. Oh, and then Coptic eye pen. All this stuff was bought from Aaron Burke. This is what they used to put their makeup on with. This is all original stuff. These are not copies. This is original shit. This one I wanted to pour, but it's very porous. So I don't know if it would work out, and I don't want to get all that sand stuck inside of it. So that one goes back to where that's probably the price I paid for it. Oh, and these are the Roman coins. Well, there's a whole group of coins that Humble had sent me. No, it's not made of ivory. It's made of bone. And bone is very porous, more than ivory. I mean, ivory, I would be able to pour, but this is a little package of coins that Humble has sent me. I haven't gone through all that yet. Here's Knucklebone. This goes back. Let me see if it says it on a tag or not. Knucklebone. I got my account on Harlan J. Burke, where I can go back and I can find the exact date on when this stuff was done. But this is a knucklebone. This was usually made. These were knucklebones from goats. Remember when Jesus was crucified, and they said that the Romans, cast lots for his clothes? This is what they casted lots with. This was their dice. This one here is made out of brass, but they originally used real bone. And like I said earlier, I missed out in the auction, so I didn't get the real bone one, but I got the brass one. So this was like a roll it, and I don't know how the game worked, but however it sat. But this was their version of dice back in the day. Lady Bluegrass, hey sweetheart, how you doing? Oh, and what do we have here? This is from the Curtis Clay collection. This is Marcus Aurelius. That's one of the ones that are actually on my lamp. The lamp that I just showed you, I cast this. Marcus Aurelius is goes back to like 172 AD. These little Greek babies. That's actually what I was going to put in, you know, my ring here. I bought this as an open bezel. And I wanted to put one of these little Thessaly coins. These are from Greece. These go back to about 4 to 350 BC in that area. Thessaly Cranon. The Greeks in Thessaly at that time were major into and breeding horses. So they probably bred horses for all the Roman soldiers and everybody else around. So they did all that. And I thought it was going to fit perfect, but it didn't fit. So I went with this little Trump coin with the U.S. president on it, the presidential seal. Where's the opening? There you go. I've got several of those. Here's another one. Oh, must have slipped out. This one here, I'm not sure where that came from. I think I broke that one out of a here's another Thessaly. They all got horses on them. There's another big one. I think it's another Marcus Aurelius. Or is this Faustina? No, that's Faustina. That was Marcus Aurelius' wife, Faustina. She was a naughty woman. She was naughty. She was very well known for going to the front while Marcus Aurelius was fighting and let's just saying giving special needs to certain soldiers. So Faustina was a hoe. That's another Faustina right there. This one's actually silver. That's a denarius. 3.42 grams. That goes back to does it have a date on it? Anyway, but this one is actually silver. So that's a Faustina. I made a copy of this too one time. I think that's on the lamp as well. I made a couple. I made actually two copies of this. Oh, that was my first one I bought. That was my Thessaly Cranon 350 to 300 BC. That was the first coin I bought from Harlan J. Burke. Of course, again, it's got the horse on it because they are nothing but, horse people. But this was my first safe. Check that shit out. I hid this thing in my room for a long time. Jeff, if you're still in here, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. And you had no idea. Oh, there's the other coin. That's another Marcus Aurelius. That goes into the empty one, which I'll get to someday. But I'm so glad that you all wanted to come along and enjoy the ride a little bit. See what Uncle Donnie's got. I still got to go through all these. This is the bag that Humble sent me. He's got some cool shit in there. But my two major prizes that, as far as I'm concerned, are the Scarab and the Eye of Horus. I love these pieces. And I still keep them in my safe, my little safe. All the way around. You ain't got a goddamn clue if that's on your bookshelf. But now this safe goes into my real safe. So thanks for coming along on that little ride. I appreciate y'all. Mandy, I hope you appreciated it. Yeah, you can hide silver and gold anywhere. Believe me. You just gotta make sure somebody knows where it's at. I got my safe stuff like that, but I don't keep all my stuff in my safe. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. My gold is kept totally separate from my silver. If somebody comes in here and does manage to get my safe off the floor, yeah, you're gonna get a good chunk of change, but at least I got something left over. Because my gold is hidden somewhere else, and nobody knows about it. But there's so many places you can put stuff. I mean, you don't have to have a safe. A safe is almost like an advertisement. So keep your shit, your good shit somewhere else, or keep it outside your house. Have a sister, a brother, somebody, mom and dad. Have it somewhere. All right, where are we at? Oh, we're about 10 o'clock. But yeah, I had this book sitting in a pile of books, on one of my tables for a long time. and that's where I kept. That's where I first started. This is where I first started. This was my first safe. But you can hide shit anywhere. I mean, if you put your mind to it, you know, anything is possible. I mean, the bottom of a lamp, an empty tube in a tall lamp, like one of them spider lamps that you used to set up and lean over your couch. All you gotta do is open it up, fill it up with silver, or fill it up with whatever you want. Make sure you throw some silica packets in there, so it doesn't get wore out. But you have something you want to test to see if it's real. What do you got, Mandy? Do you have a test kit? Jeff blowing up my phone right now. You're gonna get your peanut, dude. Don't worry. What do you want to test, Mandy? You got a silver coin, gold coin. What you got? Oh my god! I just dropped for a second there. Is everybody still there? It's a huge pour of a bicentennial. Oh shit! I probably should have plugged in. All right, maybe that'll help. All right, Bear. Take care of yourself, man. I appreciate you stopping by, saying hi. Yeah, send me a pic, Mandy. I don't know if I can tell you through a picture if it's real or not, but one of the easiest way to find out if something's real, go offer to sell it somewhere. Let them test it. And then just say, oh no, I don't want to give it up at that price. And you just walk away with it. And you got it tested for free. Okay, Mandy just sent me a picture. 1776 to 1976. That might be just a commemorative, but it doesn't mean that it's not silver. A lot of people, when they did, commemoratives of bicentennials and stuff like that, you know, they would pour them in actual silver. That's the way it used to be done. So it could be silver. All right, so it's not magnetic. All right, that's good. That's good plus. Does it make a ping? You got like a wooden spoon. You hold it between your fingers and see if it does a ping. I mean, a lot of us have pingers like this. But I mean, actually, all you really need is like a wooden dowel of a back half of a spoon for your kitchen. No, this is fake, but this is a commemorative old buffalo. This is the actual size of a nickel. So I mean, this was a commemorative for an Indian plantation, but it's not gonna ping. It's not gonna make any sound. But all you need is like a wooden dowel from your kitchen, from a spoon. Hold it right, give it that bing, and see what it does. Kevin Rose, what's up, brother? How you been? Let's smurf you up. All right, Kevin, I got you smurfed up. How you been, man? I ain't been a long time since I seen you. Oh, now I got LBS freaking, sending me messages. Get online, dude, and just talk to me. Yeah, Mandy, it's gonna be kind of hard. I mean, depending on the size of it. Um, I'll take a closer look at it. Send me pictures of the front and back, and I can try to look it up. But probably one, like I said, one of your best bets is going to be go somewhere to sell it, but not really sell it. Let them take a look at it. Let them test it. Because they're probably going to have a machine that's going to be able to test it. Because if it's something really cool, you don't want anybody scratch testing it. Because when you scratch it to do a scratch test on a, you know, oh God, where's mine at? I got my test kit here somewhere. Yeah. You got a test kit with all your acids, and you got this abrasive little stone where you actually have to scrape, part of the coin off onto the stone. You can see I've done it several times, and then you have to drop acid, on it to find out, what color it turns, if it's real or not. You know, you got ones for gold, you got ones for silver, you got. But yeah, I think your best bet would be to go somewhere and pretend you're selling it and see what they say about it. That way they can test it for you. Don't let them scratch it. No, because they got computer things. Oh, excuse me. Sorry for yawning. They can just drop it on there. Just like taking this and be like, oh, let's put it on this machine here. Bam. And you hit the buttons and it'll come up with yes or no on what it is. If they're worth anything. But Yeah, I'd go and pretend to sell it. Find out what it's worth, and then you're gonna know. Yeah, it could be your LCS, or it could be even a pawn shop. A pawn shop is gonna check it out, and make sure it's real or not. You don't have to sell it. You don't. You just want to find out if it's real or not. All right. Oh shit! I'm yawning again. All right, I'm coming up on 2 hours here. I only want to come up here for just a little bit, just to say hi and show off Mandy's stuff. Thank you very much, sweetheart. I appreciate that. I will cherish this stuff forever. It'll just definitely be a nice desk piece, especially right along the side of my megalodon tooth. All right, everybody. I'm gonna head on out. I want to say thank y'all for being here. This is Cartier Silver. I want to tell y'all just keep on keeping on. I appreciate you. Y'all have a great night, and I am out of here. I will see you in Funny Papers.